to the USA, to Atlanta, Georgia, to be more specific. Before I do, I met this gentleman some time ago, and we have a still of him and I and a few other people. And this picture was taken at the British IBM Ring 25 convention. Oh, there it is. It's coming up on screen. So why don't I just let the picture come up and talk over it? Well, if you're looking from left to right on the screen, that's Jason Andrews. There in the nice shiny jacket is Michael Finney. In the middle is me when I was older, Sean Farquhar, and our next act. Now, here's the interesting thing. We did a live talk show there. They invited me over. John Pye was the president of the British Ring 25 at the time, and he invited me over to do a talk show. And these gentlemen were my guests. Now, here's the interesting thing. If we pull that picture up again, please, from left to right, Jason Andrews, Michael Finney, yours truly, Sean Farquhar, and the next act. Guess what? With the exception of Jason Andrews, and there's still time, every one of them went on to become presidents of the IBM. Amazing things happen when you come on Darkstone show. Yeah, you pay them the right money, I'll fix things. No, really, just one of those coincidences. And of course, I am absolutely deeply honored and thrilled to bits because they're all good friends and they're all members of the SAM International Assembly, as indeed are Danny Poulet and a couple of other former IBM people. Now, having said all that, let me actually introduce you live to the gentleman on the far right of your screen, former IBM president. Ladies and gentlemen, also an AIMC with a Silver Star at the Magic Circle, Mr. Joe M. Turk.
Well, hi there. Hi, everyone. Thank you for that introduction, Anthony. It was a pleasure to be with you then. And I'm also a life member of the SAM, so there you go. I'm wearing the colors proudly today. It's great to be back on the show after being on a previous gala show. The last time I was on, I did kind of a stage and cabaret act. But the title of this show being At the Table, I thought it appropriate to do something on the table. So let me turn your attention down to my table. This is me. You can see this is me. And we're getting, 15 months into a very odd time in the world. And I know all of you, if you're motivated enough to watch a show like this on Zoom, then like me, you are probably eager for the time for us to gather together in person again, and particularly to go enjoy live entertainment, the theater or music or dance or magic, of course. And that's sort of what this is about. I'll call your attention to this little brass pillbox. They used to use these to carry around medicines. This is an antique one. In the old days, it might have had some kind of fabric or rubber seal, but that is long gone from this one. And this was a pillbox. If you remember Jackie Kennedy, she used to wear hats that were called pillbox hats because they look sort of like these old pillboxes. This is an interesting one because it holds exactly, you can see how level it is, it holds exactly 4 half dollars. And while that's not important at the moment, I do want you to remember it for later. So 4 half dollars. And here they are at 4 locations on the table so that you can see them. And they are socially distanced, as it were. But maybe we'll put one of them here in our little theater. And wouldn't it be nice if the others could join? Let's just take a look and see if we can make that happen. We'll take the first coin, the Walking Liberty half dollar, and just with a snap, we can see that something has happened. And if you listen closely, that coin has joined its friend in the theater. So there's 1, there's 2. Of course, now that you know what's going to happen, it gets easier for you and harder for me. So I have to change my method from raw skill and rugged good looks to subtlety and charm. So watch carefully as we try to cause the next coin to vanish into the theater. Now we've got 1, 2, 3. I can hear your psychic applause. I'll just assume that it's happening. That's fine. We'll put those back in the theater. We'll check on them later and cover them up with the Ace of Spades. That leaves us with, you recall, the Ace of Clubs. Wait, no, this was the Ace of Clubs over here, and the Ace of Diamonds. We have one more remaining under the Ace of Hearts. We'll use these two as if they're tweezers and grab just the ghost of that coin and drop it in the theater. And then it returns at the speed of doubt. Actually, no, that's not true. It's not really fair if we don't actually make it disappear. So we'll just give it a little gust of wind, and we can see that all of our friends have gathered together in the theater. What is interesting about the theater is that it brings together people from all different walks of life to see music or drama or musicals or magic. And then at the end, we take what we've learned back to our own lives. Oh, look at all of the waving hands. That is fun. So now I have asked someone online if she might be willing to help me. So let's see if I can bring my friend on. Hi, Betty. Are you unmuted? Could I ask you to unmute yourself? Let's see what's going on here. Very good. Something is weird. Let's just go with that for now. I think I can see you just fine. Can you speak for us so we can hear you? No microphone?
Okay.
All right.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. Now I can hear you. I'm going to show you a little bit of card magic right now. As it is traditionally done, as card tricks are traditionally done, they involve me and the person I'm performing for. But today we're going to do things a little bit differently. It's going to involve me, it's going to involve you, but it's also going to involve someone who's not here. I have some extra cards from a different pack we're going to put over to the side. You can see those. I would like you, Betty, to think of a friend from your childhood, maybe your childhood best friend or neighbor or someone that you haven't seen or talked to in a long time. Have you got that person in mind?
Yes,
I'm not a mind reader, so if you'll just tell me that person's name.
it's Lynn
Lynn, with an E or without?
without.
Without the E-L-Y-N-N. See, the reason I ask is because there are multiple ways to spell almost every name, and so it's very... The people who have the E don't want it, don't want to miss it, and the people who don't have it don't want it. So it's important to get it right. Well, I'm going to ask you some questions today, but I want you to answer them in the way that Lynn might have answered them. So we'll start with showing you that we have a pack of bicycle playing cards, and let's just see. I want you to, I'm going to run my thumb down the side, and you'll just say stop. But try to say stop about the time you think Lynn might have said stop.
Stop.
Now we can see that card. We can see that card as the 4 of diamonds, but you stopped here. So if Lynn had stopped a little sooner or a little later, we might have had a different card. But this will be Lynn's card. Let's just put that right over there. The job that we have before us, Betty, is to figure out what Lynn's card might be. And I'm going to do that by asking you some questions. I'll look through and ask you to make some choices about cards. When you do, you will, I'll just drop the choices down like that you've made. For example, if we asked Lynn to choose the 7 of diamonds or the Queen of diamonds, which do you think she would choose?
The Queen of Diamonds.
So Lynn is the type that would go for the Queen, not the 7. I will tell you that the 7 of diamonds is my favorite card, and so I'm going to put that one down just for good measure. Let's make a different choice for Lynn. Let's try the King or the 6. So I've put one up higher and one down lower. What do you think Lynn might choose?
The King.
I'm getting a real sense that Lynn is very ambitious. Let's try one more just for fun. Let's don't have any face cards this time. How about the 7 of hearts or the 10 of clubs? Which do you think Lynn might choose?
The 10 of clubs.
So she went for the high card throughout. So we've got 4 diamonds and a club. Well, you've taken the diamonds out of play, or a lot of diamonds, so I think you're going to go with a club. So I think Lynn chose the 7 of clubs. So let's just take a look and see, based on all of those choices, if she chose the 7. So that's good. You and I did a good job of seeing what card Lynn might have had. But here's what's interesting, is I had this feeling beforehand, so I wrote it on the card box that she might choose the 7 of clubs. So that worked out pretty well for you and for me and for Lynn. But what's really interesting about all of this is that I had set these extra cards aside before we did any of this, before I asked you any questions, before we chose any cards. What's very strange about these cards is that if we look at what's written on them, it's your friend's name from long ago. So how about a big round of applause for everybody, for Betty and for Lynn. Fantastic. Thank you, Betty. I have one final thing to share with you, and this is not about a friend from long ago. This is about my best friend for right now. My wife, Rosemary, and I celebrated 25 years of marriage last August. And so I've spent a lot of time with her over the last year and change, more than usual, because I haven't been traveling as much. It's very interesting, the things you learn about your partner when you spend a lot of time with them. I'm telling you this in complete honesty, and I don't mean anything negative by this at all. My wife is gifted. This woman can pack a dishwasher in a way that is supernatural. I'm not sure how she does it, but let me demonstrate for you with this. Here I have a puzzle. This is made of corian. This is like the stuff that they make countertops out of. It's hard and durable, and it's a puzzle, and you can see it fits exactly in this frame. And it's got 7 numbered pieces, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 across, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 down. And those of you who remember 7 times 9 is 63, so that's right. So 63 pieces fit exactly in here. And I'm going to set that where you can still see that it's on view. And we put the pieces back together just for a moment so you can see what we're starting with. So there we have the puzzle exactly as planned. Now, some time ago, I was loading the dishwasher. And I had all of the dishes put inside, and I had it filled perfectly. But as is often the case, just about the time you finish loading the dishwasher, someone shows up with another dish. And I looked at the full dishwasher and I thought, well, it's okay. I'll just, I'll take some dishes out of this one, we'll wash it, and we'll just start another load, and I can wash that load, and we'll have like 2 loads that we'll wash. And Rosemary looked at me and she said, Joe, don't be ridiculous. I'm not about to pay for the water for you to run the dishwasher twice. Let me look at the dishwasher. So she went in and she started moving dishes around, and the next thing I knew, she had made room for that last piece. Now, I was a physics major and very puzzled by what appeared to be a supernatural manipulation of matter. But I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It was still 63. I was baffled, but I made a mental note for later. Not long after that, we went to visit her parents for Christmas. And so we were at the end of our visit, and I had gotten all of the stuff put together and back in the minivan. We do have a minivan, and we had it, and I had it packed perfectly. I was so pleased with myself. But as often the case, when you come home from visiting your in-laws at Christmas, you have extra stuff beyond what you took with you. I looked at this and said, well, it's no problem. We'll stop at the post office on the way out and I'll ship this home and it's no problem. And Rosemary looked at me and said, Joe, don't be ridiculous. I'm not paying postage for you to ship that home. Let me see the van. She started moving luggage and other items around inside the van. And the next thing I knew, she had made room for that last gift. I was obviously baffled by this. I looked and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It was still 63. But I made a mental note, said I would remember it later. Sometime after that, Rosemary and I took a cruise together. And we were traveling around the coast of Italy, and I was fortunate to be doing magic on the ship. And as the saddest part of the cruise is when you have to pack to get ready to come home, but it was fine. I had packed my suitcase and I had everything just so. But as is often the case when you come home from an amazing trip, you have souvenirs and things that you didn't start with at the outset. I said, Rosemary, it's no problem. I'll buy an extra bag, an extra suitcase. We'll put all the souvenirs in that. I'll pay the bag fees and we'll just go home. She said, Joe, after all these years, have you learned nothing? Don't be ridiculous. I'm not paying bag fees for you. Let me see your suitcase. And so she went into my suitcase and started moving things around. And the next thing I knew, she had made room for my souvenirs. I looked at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It was still 63. I was baffled by what I had seen repeatedly. And as I thought about all of the money that she had saved me on the water bill, and all of the money that she had saved me on postage, and all of the money that she had saved us on bag fees, with all of the money we saved, I did what any good magician would do. I bought a magic prop so that I could share the story with you. My name is Joe Turner. I'm in Atlanta. It was a pleasure to be back with you today. Anthony, back to you.
Thank you, Joe. Yes, I do agree with you. I have met your good lady, Rosemary. She is smart.